All right, welcome in everybody. Thank you very much for joining us for today's webinar presentation, Goal Setting to Sales Forecasting. My name is Matt Alina. I am the Final Expense Manager here at URL. And while I'm the Final Expense Manager, this is totally out of my purview. This is not a normal webinar because I am not going to be talking final expense. I will be using some final expense examples for how you can implement it and kind of just give you an idea. But this is totally out of the norm. This is a goal setting to sales forecasting webinar. And the reason we're doing this is we're just about to put a bow, wrap up 2023. The pages have been written and 2023 is about to go off to the publisher and it's in the books. So as we're about to turn the page to 2024, it's good to actually sit down and take a look and see where we went, where we were in 2023, where we want to go into 2024. With all of that being said, it's good to kind of have an idea of where you want to go. And by doing that, you want to put together some sales goals and goals in general. You'll find that some of the tools and resources that we'll be talking about today are going to be tools and resources that you can implement into your own personal life. This does not have to always be around business. You may have a goal of going to Hawaii or to go hiking and backpacking through the mountains in Europe. It doesn't matter. It may be that you want to save up money to buy that dream car of yours or to pay off college tuition. It doesn't matter. But I'd like to kind of get a crystal ball and show you how to create your own crystal ball so that you can see what 2024 is going to look like for you. You can get control of your life, and really how that works is by taking control of your habits. And it's really kind of a mindset. Either you control your mind or it controls you. And it's really a mindset of kind of narrowing things down to where you want it to go in your business, your personal life, and all of that, and being able to kind of, you're the driver, you're in the driver's seat and can do what you want. So as we're about to turn the page, for me, going into a brand new year is bittersweet because you've worked hard all year long. You're seeing the numbers getting written. You may have missed a few goals. You may have hit a few goals, but here the slate is going to be wiped clean. We're starting fresh here in just a couple of weeks. So how do you stay motivated? And really, how do you get motivated is really by starting now. Instead of putting it off, I'm a procrastinator. A lot of people I know are procrastinators, but some of the things that you want to think about as you're getting started for 2024 is understand your why. For me, my why is I come from a background of my father owning a business, my grandfather owning a business. It was a family business. It was a small business. I have a heart and I have a passion for helping small businesses grow and achieve their dreams and goals. And the insurance industry is an industry where I'm helping you as an agent, but I'm also helping you help businesses continue to thrive. I'm helping you with helping families stay afloat in what is considered to be some of the worst times of their lives where they've lost the death of a loved one. Other things is to define your goals. We're going to show you how to do that. We're going to show you how to create a clear vision on how to achieve those goals. How do you produce a plan? You want to be positive. It's very easy to go down the dark road, the negative road. Try keeping it positive. You'll find that having a positive mental attitude will also attract more people to you because people are attracted to positive people, happy people. Even if it's an act, fake it until you make it, you'll find that it'll actually become a part of your nature. You also have the choice to be successful. You'll break your goals down into manageable tasks, stay in the zone. You want to make it fun. You want to reward yourself when you hit certain milestones, and you want to visualize yourself succeeding. So you're sitting down, you're kind of envisioning where you want to go and what you want to do. Now, if you are just kind of thinking about goals and you keep them inside your head, you've heard this cliche before. It's a dream. You have to write the goals down. And what is a goal? A goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or a desired result. So like I had mentioned before, you can make this pertain to business, but you can also make this pertain to your own personal life, your own personal adventures for the year, your family, you as an individual. You may have the ambition to lose 20 or 30 pounds. Write that goal down and then track your goals. We're going to show you how to do all of that. And people will ask me, Matt, do you actually do this? Yeah, I do. I've got several of these worksheets that I put together for my own personal life and professional life too. I may be an employee for URL, and while URL has their own goals and their own ambitions and things like that, I play a role in that, and I look for people to here at URL to hold me accountable for my professional stuff. So even though I work for somebody, I also view what I do as my own entity, and that I have my own financial goals that I want to reach. And being in a management position here at URL, I have goals for final expense that I want to achieve as well. So there's a lot of different things, and I do implement this into my own personal life. What are goals and what are dreams? Goals are achievable future plans. You can set a goal for a week from now, 24 hours from now, a month from now, a quarter, every 3 months, 90 days, or an entire year. But they're achievable goals. Even little victories are goals. Making little steps are goals. Goals are intentions and need hard work and need some effort to achieve it. It's not just some dream where you fall asleep and you wake up the next morning and poof, there you are on that tropical island that you've always dreamed of visiting. Goals are actions. Dreams are thoughts. So let me back up here a second. Goals are achievable future plans, where dreams are wishes and desires once in life. Goals have intentions and need hard work to achieve it, where dreams are free and really never become goals. They're all in your mind. Goals are actions, where dreams are thoughts. Goals require clarity of thoughts to know what, how, and when, where dreams are unconscious and based on just some beautiful wishes. Goals are concrete and tangible. There's something that you can measure, where dreams are ambitious, sometimes rebellious and not very specific. Goals have clear, specific objections, where dreams are subjective and it revolves around our passions. Goals are realistic and needs to follow a structure, where dreams are fantasies and at times very unrealistic. Goals do have an end, where dreams, you can just keep them going and going and going and going. So, goal setting, how do we do it? Is there a template? And the answer to that is yes. I use the term, and some of you, this may be a refresher. Some of you may have already had the ability or had the pleasure of being in a similar study, or maybe you've read this online, but it's called SMART goals. And SMART is actually an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So with goals, you want to narrow it down to the exact action or event that will take place. It's not an I want, it's an it will, or you want to phrase it where this will take place by X amount of time. It's measurable. It's something that you can see the progress. You can track where you're going. You can track where you've been, track where you're going. It should be attainable. You don't want to say, okay, my goal is by the end of this year to have the same amount of money in my bank account as Elon Musk. Probably not attainable. It needs to be something that's attainable, something that you can achieve. Because if you're setting these lofty goals, knowing that you're not going to get them, it really kind of deflates your balloon quite a bit. So you want something that's achievable, because little goals, little growth will eventually grow into more. It's kind of like losing weight. You lose a couple of pounds, you think, it's a couple of pounds. Well, a couple of pounds week after week, month after month, it starts to add up. So just like small little victories, small little wins grow into bigger and bigger victories. It needs to be realistic. You need to have goals that are going to require you to spread your wings a little bit, spread that parachute, and take some effort where you're going to find success. It may require that you get out of your comfort zone a little bit more than you are accustomed to doing. And it needs to be timely. You need to have and give yourself a deadline. Now, nothing is written in stone. You'll see that my goals are written on paper, which means you can even do it in pencil, so you can make adjustments. But you're going to want to be able to review all of your goals to see where you're at and see where you're at in attaining those goals by your deadline. You may have to make some adjustments, and that is okay. So tips to setting some effective goals. Number one is to develop several goals. Like I said, you can implement this towards business. You can implement this towards your personal life. And I'm going to show you an example of how I kind of use final expense sales as kind of like a way to form goals. You can implement this into any form of business. I find that the insurance industry in general, because we're not creating widgets where you don't have a lot of overhead, it's very easy to put together some goals, because it's really about us and the effort that we put into what we're doing. But you're going to make several goals, and you're going to set these goals and state these goals, write them down as declarations of I will instead of I want, and set a date for each goal. You want to be as specific you want it to be as specific as possible. And the other thing is you want to share your goals that you have written down. Why? Because you need somebody to help you and hold you accountable. For me, it is my wife. She will hold me accountable, and there is no gray. It's hard and fast rules with her, and she will hold me accountable. You may have a significant other in your life that will also hold you accountable to those goals. It may not even be in your own personal life, in your own household. It may be with people within your business or in your agency that you want to share your goals with. It could be your manager, the owner, so that you can then set time aside, whether it's weekly, monthly, quarterly, where you sit down and review where you are, and they're holding you accountable to achieving those goals. Like I'd mentioned before, you're writing down these goals. And number 7 is you want to review your goals and revise them. You may hit a goal. Maybe you set a goal for in the first 90 days of 2024, I'm going to do XYZ, or I will do XYZ. You've hit that. Now you want to do that again, but you're going to raise the bar a little bit higher. You can do that. Review and revise. When you're writing goals, use clear, specific language. Start your goal statement with a to and then a verb to make $150,000 in life insurance premiums for 2024. That is going to be the statement of your goal. Write your goal as a statement using the SMART goal criteria. And folks, we have all of the criteria here. We have these worksheets. You'll be able to have access to them and make it positive. You want to be positive that you will achieve this. So you want to, and like I mentioned before, you want this to be realistic. That's letter R of SMART, is to have it so that it is realistic. Because if you have never done a particular line of business, you might want to consult with people who have been in the business. What's a realistic income goal for me as a first year in this particular industry or in this particular marketplace? So I mentioned that I'm not going to be talking about final expense, but I am going to be talking about using this as a template as if I was a final expense producer, just because I know the numbers. So my goal is to make $120,000 in final expense sales. I will average $10,000 in monthly premium. So to that end, what is specific for the letter S? To sell $10,000 per month in final expense, to make $120,000 by year's end. And at the top of the page, by the way, it has the date that I'm writing this. It also has the date that I want to achieve this by. Now, every month, I'm going to be reviewing this to see, did I hit $10,000 a month? So for somebody that's doing Medicare, or somebody that's doing traditional life insurance or annuities or even PNC or something like that, doesn't matter what it is, you have a particular goal in mind. Have it so that you can break it down into manageable chunks and you're able to review it. So how is this measurable? That's letter M. It's measurable by reviewing my production statements on a consistent basis. So if I want to do $10,000 a month, well, that's $2,500 a week. I can look at my production statements and say, okay, and I can write my premiums down each and every week that I'm writing, and I can see that it's measurable and I'm hitting that goal. It may mean that I need to spend more time on the phone if I'm not hitting those numbers. I need to go out and see more people. Those are all things that I may have to adjust, but those are things that I can measure. It needs to be achievable. For someone like me, I've been in the insurance industry for almost 24 years. So I want to make these goals something that's achievable. So how am I going to achieve that? I'm going to use the leads from URL, and I'm going to ask for referrals. With that, I will reach my goal. So that's achievable. How is it relevant? It's relevant to me to prove to myself and others that I consider this to be a success. It will give me money to grow and reinvest. Something to that effect. And then timely. I will achieve this goal by December 31st of 2024. So then it asks, and this is kind of going back to the why. The goal is important to me because I will be able to hire additional staff. I will be able to pay for vacations. Benefits of achieving this goal: more money, more time off with my family. Some of us, the goal is to hit a certain plateau or a certain goal so that we can replace ourselves and get out of the industry and be able to go off into the sunset, right off into the sunset, and call it a career. Now is the time that you should take action, and you'll see the action steps here. What are some of the potential obstacles? Now, all this stuff, it may be a 2-page worksheet that you're filling out, but you want to put some thought into this as you're doing this. Make several copies of this or of blank sheets, because like I said before, you want to have multiple goals. It gives you a purpose every morning when you're getting up, going to work. A lot of us work for ourselves. And when we work for ourselves, sometimes it's easy to let outside influences dictate our career, our choices for the day. When we work from home, work for ourselves, that pile of laundry needs washed, ironed, whatever. The dog needs to go for a walk. I need to go and get dinner ready. Those are all things that kind of keep you away from that. But if you put the blinders on and you focus on your goals, you have a better chance of success. So some of the potential obstacles that you could run into is not enough sales leads. People don't like to answer the phone, or I might lose focus. Those are some obstacles. Those are things that are out of my control, but things that I need to be prepared for and how I'm going to respond or react if and when that does happen. The potential solutions to that: I will knock on doors, get out in and promote my business in the community. I will also plug into URLs, resources, and final expense sales community. So those are some potential solutions. How do you stay focused? How do you work around some of the obstacles? Who are the people who will help you and hold you accountable? The staff at URL, my mentor, my wife, my significant other, name whoever it is. Specific action steps. These are the steps that you need to take in order to get to your goal. And that is attend sales training, purchase leads each week on a consistent basis, go until I get a no, something along those lines. So you have this to look back on. Some of you may want to stick it on the wall. You want to put it in a place where you'll see it as a reminder each and every time. So here's how, so to kind of review, I said I wanted to do, or I will do $10,000 a month in final expense premium, which will equate to $120,000 of final expense premium by year's end. So we know the goal, we know where we want to go. So now, how do we get there? And this is where sales forecasting comes in. So know where your destination is. This is how you're going to forecast your sales. What is sales forecasting? Sales forecasting is really just an estimate of how much money, or in our case, in the insurance world, the financial world, how much premium you will generate over a set period of time. Many of us in this industry, don't mean to offend anyone, a lot of us treat this as we're just sole props, we're sole proprietors, and we kind of go where the wind blows us. We don't treat our organization, even if we're a one-man or one-woman show, we don't treat our organization as a business, which is why it's good to have these goals. It's also good to have sales forecasting. If this is just a side hustle and you're happy when you get that extra couple of bucks, then you may as well turn a deaf ear to this. But if you're looking, if this is your industry, if this is what you're doing, this is important, is to treat your business as a professional business. So you have sales forecasting. Steps to forecasting your sales. Again, have all this stuff written down. You want to estimate how much premium you will sell during your set period of time. According to my goals, I'm going to sell $10,000 a month in premium, $2,500 a week, right? That equates to $120,000 after it's all said and done of annual premium. You want to estimate the price of the product or service. So if you've been doing this a while, you know what the average premium is. Again, we're not creating widgets. We're not creating anything. We're not selling something that is necessarily tangible, a product or service that somebody can hold. So we're not setting the price either. We know the estimated premium. For final expense, the estimated premium or the average premium is about $800. Okay. Estimated projected expenses. Those are your leads. That's gas money, all of that. And let me explain something to you while I mention the word leads. Leads are an expense that should not be treated as a luxury. It's an operating expense. If you're buying leads as a luxury when you've got the money, then it's defeating the entire purpose of it. You want to track your expenses from your sales. So if I want to do a net of $120,000, that is going to be less what I did in my lead costs. If I want to finish the year with $120,000 in my pocket after expenses. So these are things that you need to consider when you're doing your sales forecasting. So you go back to my goal. We wanted to do $120,000 in final expense premium. The average sale is $800 of annualized premium per client. So that means that I would need to write about 150 applications per year, or around 13 applications per month. Now I do know, and this is all goes from experience and knowing your numbers. You need to know your numbers. You have to. It's important, and you should have this. You should just know this. You call X a number of people. You know the average premium. If I see 10 people, I'm going to close 5. That means that 5 out of 5 people, we're looking at about $4,000 of premium. Something along those lines. Why? Because at $800, you can almost forecast what your weekly payday is going to be. So at a 50% closing ratio from leads, you need about 3 or 4 applications per week, which means you need about 8 to 10 appointments per week. The cost per leads is $38 per lead. Are you tracking? Do you see where I'm going with this? This is how you do the sales forecasting. So you need to, when you break everything down into little chunks, you're able to do the sales forecasting. So knowing the numbers, I know that the average client is paying about $800 a year on a final expense plan. If you're doing Medicare or you're doing another line of business, know the numbers. What is the premium or what is the commission that you're going to earn from that particular sale? You know that the goal is 120,000, or it may even be higher. Some of you may be $500,000 or $1 million producer. So you know your numbers, you know what you need to do. So if you break it down into the little chunks, okay, I need to see, in order to hit this, I need to see, I need to write 150 applications, or I need to see, which means I need to see about 300 clients a year to get that number of applications. So for $120,000, breaking all of this stuff down, okay, lead costs for that annually is about $18,000, which means I'm spending about $1,500 a month on leads. And that is an expense. Again, not a luxury. It is an expense. It's an operating expense. Nice thing about it is you can write it off at the end of the year. So $1,500 a month will purchase 2,500 lead mailers for final expense. Okay. So a 1,000-piece mailer is about $550. So if you're dropping about $1,500, that's going to get you about 2,500 lead mailers. Out of 2,500 lead mailers at a 1.5% national average response, that means I'm getting back about 37 leads per month. Out of those 37 leads, I'm probably going to be able to set about 18 appointments out of that. Some people will respond, some people won't. Out of those 18 appointments, you'll probably sell or close half of that. The more you do this, the better these numbers are going to get, because you have better opportunities. You make a mess, you're going to be able to clean it up. So out of 18 appointments, you get 9 sales. So at 9 applications with an average of 800, you're looking at about $7,200 a month. So what does that mean? That means that my goal was to hit $10,000. I didn't hit that goal. So what do? Personally, I would make the adjustments in my leads, so that if I increase the leads, then I'm going to start hitting those numbers. You follow? So instead of taking $1,500 a month, maybe I increase that to $2,000 a month. So you can make some adjustments, but you need to track your numbers so you know where you're going with it. And the other thing too is that I've mentioned a couple of times, URL resources. URL, we're poised to help you as well and invest in your business too. So if I did $7,200 of annualized premium, URL subsidizes those lead costs. They're going to kick in an extra 5% on those leads. Now I have more money. So I'm going to invest $1,500 of my money, and then I'm going to invest the extra 5%. So at $7,200 at 5%, that's another $360. So for another $360, now I'm going to be able to for now $1,860, I'm able to buy more leads. More leads turns into more appointments. More appointments turns into more applications. More applications turns into more premium for me. That means that now that monthly premium has gone up, URL still kicking in additional money, and now you've got even more money to put in towards your leads. That is how you hit your goals. That is also how you do sales forecasting. You need to bring it down from a macro to a micro, and you can track your numbers and you can drill it down into the minimum stuff. So for activity, for applications, for appointments, if you want to have 10 appointments a week for final expense, I'm just using this as final expense. Again, doing this for a long period of time, I know that it's going to require that I get on the phone and I'm going to dial that phone about 150 times to get in front of people. So I'm calling those, I may dial and redial those numbers, but on average, it's going to be 150 phone calls, 150 dials to get 10 appointments, sometimes even more than that. That's the average. It may require that I'm knocking on doors, 20 or 30 doors a week to get the numbers that I want. So those are all things that you can break down into little bits and pieces. And you'll see that the more you break it down and you do this in manageable chunks, you're going to be able to forecast what you're doing. You'll be able to forecast your sales. You'll be able to reach your goals. And I'm going to just put this out there. Utilize URL's resources. I want to help you grow. Why? Because your growth equates to my growth and my hitting my goals. So I'm putting it out there. Write down your goals. Use I will versus I want. Look for an accountability partner. I can do it. I can show tough love if I have to. But if you don't want to use me, I'm not going to be offended. Use somebody that you that will hold you accountable. Treat your business like a professional organization. Sales forecasting. Where are you going? Where are you going? How are you going to get there? Plug and play the numbers. You just kind of saw a small example of how I took my goals and how I worked my sales forecasting to hit my numbers. So know your numbers. Invest in your business and utilize URL's resources. If you follow just some of these tips and tricks that I have provided you in the last 35 minutes here, I promise you that you will find that you are going to hit those numbers. You're going to find that you're going to see 2024 as a growth year, as a year that you're going to discover that you have what it takes to do what you want to do. And it doesn't have to just be about business, folks. It can be about almost any part of your life. It may be building up savings, losing weight, going on vacations, buying that car, buying that dream home, whatever it is. And then you have those goals written down. You will hit those goals. You're going to tell somebody about your goals and say, I need you to hold me accountable. Can we get together every 2 weeks or once a month to go over my numbers? See what I'm doing wrong, see what I'm doing right. Hold me accountable. And utilize URL's resources. I'm willing to take any questions. A lot of times, those questions pop up at the end after we've parted ways. So let me give you my contact information. My direct phone number is 717-216-8041. 717-216-8041. Email is matta@urlinsgroup.com. If you email me here in the next week or so, you can just put in the subject line goals. I will send you the resource kits that I have for the goal setting so that you can start setting goals. If you want me to be want me as an accountability partner, I'm willing to do that. Anybody here at URL, anybody on the staff, if you ask them, hey, I have goals that I'd like to hit this year, and I'd like you to sit down with me, or I'd like to have a conference call with you once a month, we'll take that time for you. We want to see that growth. We want to see you succeed. Again, you're hitting your numbers, and your goals helps us hit our numbers and our goals. So that's it for today's presentation. If you have questions, please reach out to me. Happy to take them. And I hope you and your family have a wonderful holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And take some time, go over your goals, write them down, and let's work together in hitting those goals in 2024. Take care, everybody. Happy holidays, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next year.